Hey, what is up, YouTube? This is We All Juggle Knives and Lights with this very interesting defensive flashlight. 900 lumens, and it runs on two 18650 batteries. First of all, it's less than $20. I'll include the link. This was sent to me to demonstrate and review by tinywind.com, and I believe that is an airsoft site primarily, or they have a lot of airsoft stuff. They have pouches and so forth, so if you're into that, just browse around on there. They have good stuff at good prices. Now this light is 13.4 inches by my measurement, and this light kicks ass. I mean, it could beat some ass, let's put it that way. It's primarily a flashlight, but it's also a defensive option. It packs a punch. Yeah, check this out. Now I ask you, if you were a mugger who meant some harm, would you mess with someone who was walking down the street carrying this? Probably not, unless you had a gun. And, obviously a flashlight is no replacement for a firearm, but since, unfortunately, you're not allowed to carry those in a lot of places, this is a great option, and for the price, I mean, anyone can use this. It's thicker than it needs to be just because, well, I assume that's to pack an extra punch. You see this texture, it's basically like what they call pineapple texture. Now it's got this section right here to give you a better grip, right? This, more narrow section, which is your grip. This can be very useful as a safety option because, first of all, it's just good to have something to light your path. You're walking the dog, it starts to get dark, maybe you need a light. You can also look behind things, suspicious areas. But the whole ability to use this as a last-ditch option is what puts this over the top. I mean, this is very similar to, this is a Maglite clone, very similar idea to these mag lights, but I feel this provides a better grip. Like I said, that choked in portion, the grip portion, it's easy to wield this thing. It's got a tail switch, right? You just click on that tail switch, right? And you can half press, strobe warning, you can half press to cycle through the modes. Okay, at this time let's roll in the outside demonstration footage for this very cool defensive flashlight. Out here on the front steps in the middle of the night with this defensive flashlight. This is the highest mode. Let's go around back to the testing board to see how this lights your way. And out by the testing board I did find a deer. You see the deer? This has some pretty nice range. Let me zoom in and show you. And without the light, you cannot see it. It's just munching. I'm going to leave it alone. And here we are with this defensive flashlight on the testing board. This is the brightest mode. Let's cycle through, and strobe warning in advance. Pretty good. And here I am up in the second story window with this defensive light. It's got a very focused beam, as you can see. That's where we were, the testing board. I just move this around at different landmarks. Yeah, it's actually not bad. I mean, it's not meant to be a super bright thrower, but nonetheless, check that out. Alright people, we are back. So what about the batteries on this thing? Alright, to install the batteries you just unscrew the tail assembly. That's what that looks like. As I said, it takes two batteries. Did you hear my knee pop? That was my knee if you heard that. I'm using these high quality ThruNite 18650 batteries. Final thoughts on this defensive flashlight from Tiny Wind. I like it. Here you see it compared to several other lights which all have kind of the same philosophy, as it were, and that is that many problems can be solved with sufficient application of force, if you know what I mean. Now this flashlight stands out because it provides a really good grip, right, with that thinner portion, and it also provides a really good two-handed grip, which is important if you've ever had any of the police baton training. They have a lot of, well, they have some techniques that are two-handed techniques, and obviously with that pineapple texturing, you get a really good grip. This light is also fairly bright. I mean, 900 lumens is pretty decent. It's not trying to be the brightest thing out there, right? Because for something like this, first of all, you need some endurance, okay? So you don't want to be a 1-minute wonder. You know, you're going on a long walk, you're lighting your path. But 900 lumens is really decent, and it also gets decent range. It's a very focused beam. And you know, that mugger or that rapist or whoever, he's going to have this pattern imprinted on his skull. But you know what? The best thing about stuff like this, you almost never have to use it. First of all, no bad guy wants to be illuminated and spotlighted for everyone to see. Second of all, who's going to try to approach someone that has basically a big metal stick in their hand? Now again, it's not going to make you bulletproof. I mean, if someone has an Uzi, I can't help you. But this is going to deter all the much more common everyday things. And also, of course, if there's feral dogs and things like that, you know, I've got reports of people being chased, being attacked, and so forth by feral dogs. Well, as a last resort, you know, this can dissuade them, let's say. Now, this light is very similar to what they call a guard dog flashlight, which is a stun gun flashlight. This does not have a stun gun, but it's very similar to some of the stun gun flashlights. But the good thing about this is legal in a lot more places. Now, as far as the legal issues, as long as you're primarily using this as a flashlight, you should be fine. Now, of course, if you go around threatening people or you go around assaulting people for no reason, that's a crime, okay? So you need to purchase this primarily as a flashlight. But of course, if you're just walking your dog or just taking a walk with your flashlight and someone physically attacks you, this is a great last resort option to have. Of course, you have to check into your local laws on the use of force. I know some countries basically don't allow self-defense. Most places in America, they make some exception for self-defense depending on what's happening, but use common sense. Alright, so check out the link. I can't believe this thing is less than $20. That's pretty awesome. The stun gun versions go for much more, and like I said, they're not really legal in many places. Alright, so if you want one, just check out that link. All the information will be in the text description box. This has been We All Juggle Knives and Lights. I'm out.